Ooh, it's freaking cold today. Freezing. It is freaking cold today. Freezing. We really have winter now here, at least where I live in Sundsvall. But sometimes you need to get out and do some shopping at the food market. So, but see, well dressed up. I think it's around 15-16 degrees Celsius today, and it is definitely not a luxury to have glasses either when it is weather like this, but at least we have sun. For once we have the sun, so I should be happy. I'm happy for the sun, but it is damn cold. Oh, hello there folks, it's home again, and it feels good to be home. It's really cold outside, so it feels good to be inside and do some videos. I promised in my previous videos, when I showed the single I found at the closing of the therefor water that I would do another more regular vinyl and CD update. And let's start and see what I have found, because I have actually all this to show. And let me first start with where I finished the last time, because I went back to Waterbruket. They had little more opened, and today, this Sunday as I record, is the day when they're shutting down for good. So I was there yesterday and found some little more stuff actually. A few more 45s. Cliff Richard's Dreamin', the 1980, which is the single from an album that actually my friend Kjell from Norway sent me a couple of years back. I'm No Hero. So it felt interesting to have the single for it. And I also bought this Sky High by Jigsaw, group I never heard of. The main theme from Man from Hong Kong. Really 70s looking cover sleeve. And this is a really, really great disco track. So it felt good to have this actually. And also a few. I bought this. This is not a 78, even though it looks like it. This is actually a very, very early vinyl. And though the quality of this record is isn't the absolute best, but they still have 75% off. And when I have this kind of sellout, it felt wrong not to take it still, as it costed me only 25 cents. So a Sooth Sims quartet with a lot of songs here. We have John Lewis on one side on piano and Harry Biz on piano on the other side. So it's little different settings on each. Art Blakey is on drums on one side. So this long playing, very early long playing, though it probably is so, it was good to actually have it, to include it when the price was so cheap actually. And I also found a stack of CDs. So I'm going to show my CD findings now and take it in a little different order. I actually found some Swedish CDs while we're now at Swedish music. I actually have Stackabo, which is none other than Johan Renck, who's done a lot of videos. He has done music videos for Madonna. He's done music videos for a lot of international stars. He's also now currently a director, movie director, for movies that hasn't been all those kind of hit success, but he is having a kind of an international success right now. And this is the album Supermarket from '93. And I remember a couple of those hit singles. I remember the single Living It Up, which actually had Roger Moore guest starring in the video. So, interesting little soul style with some rapping and so on, but it's really nice, soothing production. And Swedish singer Rebecca Törnqvist. She has a kind of deep voice, but very soothing, and very soothing jazz, soul, popish style, and from 1995 is this one, Good Thing. And I also found Sergio Mendes, Brasileiro. Those CDs that I found yesterday was only paid 25 cents for, so it was a little risk taking what it could be. But the hit single from this one is the single What Is This, which is a really great song with a lot of drums. The rest seems to be a blend between traditional Brazilian samba music, which I'm not that much fan of. Normally I'm more fan of the more soothing MPB style, as I find samba music a little too hysterical at times. But some also is modernized mix between Brazilian music and more modern music. So it will be very interesting to see which road it leans to most. Marvin Gaye live, a low budget release, but I listened to quick peeks and it sounds very interesting. Maybe a little high bass on the recording, but still sounds really interesting. This is from 1900 and recorded at 1983 in Indianapolis. And it was shot not too long after that. So a very interesting thing to have. Eternal, British soul group that whose first albums are really good, especially the first one, Always and Forever, which is a British soul classic from the 90s that I really love. This album is after their breakup, or should I say, after they have been firing some members. One member quit and one was fired over the answering machine. These are only these two sisters left in the band. It is, you can say, after their prime, but it is 90s soul, so it will be very interesting to hear what this sounds like. And it costed me 25 cents. Now we're leaving Återbruket for good. I also found during the month this Phil Collins, Dance Into the Light from '96. And we have Scottish group Texas and the album White on Blonde. Texas is a band which do kind of a jazz soul style, a little 70s style. The single here, Black Eyed Boy, is the main single from this album, and the biggest hit so far, if I'm not wrong. So very, I like this band a lot. Now, 45s. We have Sir Duke, Stevie Wonder, real classic from Songs in the Key of Life album, a masterpiece album. Really good to have this on 45. And we have some singles that I bought at one of those table flea markets that they have actually every now and then. And I found The Cure and a single called High from '92. So this is from the same album as Friday I'm in Love. Robin Gibb, Juliet. Robin Gibb from Bee Gees. Bee Gees didn't have the best 80s or 90s either. Some of the sounds sounded pretty boring actually when I tried to go from disco to regular pop, and actually sounded pretty boring. But the Robin Gibb's solo stuff from 1982, I think this is, it's actually really, really good. So this is a great song. Yellow, the Swiss group, you know, The Race. This is from 1984, a song called Bostish, and Bass for Alex, that I have on an EP since before. Bostish in its original is from 1981, and I don't know why they what the thought was to release this once again in 1984, but really great to have if I like Yellow. We have Italo Disco from the 80s with a band, or shall I say one-man group called Miko Mission. He had some great hits in Europe with songs like How Old Are You and Two for Love. This is a song called Talk Talk Talk. That is okay, great song, but I think those singles I mentioned was even better. But this is an okay song actually from 1987. Swedish group Sound of Music. I mentioned them before. This is Peter Grönvall. He is the son of Benny Andersson from ABBA. Nanne Grönvall I mentioned before, his wife. And this is Angelique Widengren, his then girlfriend. They weren't married at the time. It was soap opera, but this is a great song. That's all you need to know. Summer Sensation. Really great, powerful pop disco. And we have some cult classic also. Ili Nastase, a tennis player that is most famous for here in Sweden for the man who Björn Borg defeated to win his first Wimbledon. And in 1987, someone thought it was a good idea actually to lure him into the record studio and record Rob Trotter label. He actually had some protest because he said, I cannot sing. He should have stayed with that because he cannot sing. It sounds horrible. The sound sounds real bad. It sounds like the producer, which I don't remember who it is actually, but the producer has taken his son's electric organ and put on the drums and then lure Ili Nastase into the studio because they sound horrible. The single is definitely right up in my alley. It's so horrible that it makes you laugh. Which you who saw when I showed this in various streams actually know that I actually did. And we have also this that I don't make heads or tails of. World Cup football theme. Argentina 1978. Allons de Rouge. It is some kind of a march with some pop influences. Pretty much a march like, and then pop influences that not too long far from Miko and his Star Wars version. This is made by something called the Champion Brass Band. And I figured out that this is Belgian release, but I know nothing of this. The song is called World Cup Football Theme 1978, and it is created by someone called T. Randall. I find no information of it on YouTube whatsoever, actually. I don't know if this was the official theme for this football World Cup. Most likely not, but I don't know anything about it. So it's very mysterious. The only thing I know that inside we have a sheet. So anyone who knows to read this actually can play along. So I think that was the mysterious thing about it, and that including of this music sheet was actually one of the reasons why I actually bought this. And it sounds not all that bad, even though it's not normally in my musical preferences. But it is very fun to have. Now, full length. Chris Rea or Burge. I really like Chris Rea's smooth pop rock style. Now, Burge is a really funky song. And we have also Glenn Frey, No Fun Allowed, from 1983. Glenn Frey. We have also some genuine 70s soul. Billy Paul with a cover sleeve that looks a little bit water damaged, but it is the record itself is in pretty good shape actually. So 360 Degrees of Billy Paul, featuring Me and Mrs. Jones, his biggest hit. Philly soul at its glory. More soul, but in a more modern style. Jane Child, who had a big hit back in 1989 with Don't Wanna Fall in Love, a really, really great song. Unfortunately, she became a one-hit wonder, but I wanted for quite some time to actually have a full-length album by her. So I actually managed finally to find this with Don't Wanna Fall in Love on it. And quick peek says it sounds really as funky and really nice 80s soul disco as I wanted it to be. So this is going to be very, very interesting. Jane Child, self-titled debut. Also her, if I'm not wrong, only record. I might be wrong, but CCS and a self-titled, and it is from 1972. CCS, who I've been shown before, studio constellation concentrated around Alexis Corner, and they do very much jazz, rock, soul style with a lot of horns that I really like. In the same like Tower Power or Blood, Sweat and Tears in Chicago and so on. And I really like it. Really, really funky and amazing horns. Moving into this, Paul McCartney, Tug of War, and pretty suitable now when Beatles has released a song. And this is, I listened to this actually. It actually is a really great album, very smooth and relaxing 80s, early 80s production, and still with melodies that goes a little here and there actually. And I really like this album. One of the best Paul McCartney albums I heard actually, which I know a lot of you out there who is a huge fan of Beatles doesn't agree with me with, but I like stuff that no one else likes. What can I say? Now we're moving into jazz. Super Sax plays Bird. Super Sax is a constellation of different jazz musicians, kind of a supergroup with Conte Condoli and so on. And they made a couple of albums where they play Charlie Parker. I have one set before where they play Charlie Parker's ballads with strings. This is a regular Charlie Parker album where they play regular Charlie Parker songs like Coco and Parker's Mood and Hot House and so on. We have Benny Goodman, Swing Classic 3. Now this may look like an ordinary Benny Goodman compilation, and normally I wouldn't care that much about those, but I have Swing Classics 1 and 2, so of course I'm going to have the third also. And the setting here is a bit different, and it's also live, so a lot of reasons actually to buy this one. Stan Getz, some Stan Getz. We have Stan Getz plays Bacharach and David with strings. What the World Needs Now. Listen to it, and I'm not going to say that it's Stan Getz' strongest album. It bounces sometimes on the line of easy listening, natural listens. It is but Bacharach he plays, but it's also very well made. I love the orchestra. I love the sound of it, really relaxing. So it still is a great album that I will keep. Though I see it more as a fun experiment than something that I see more Stan Getz albums with. Also have a Stan Getz live, Getz-albums, new Stan Getz quartet featuring Astor Gilberto. I don't have all that much with Stan Getz Brazilian work with the Gilbertos, Astor and João. This is a live concert from Café Agogo, there of the name. And really relaxing, even though Astor Gilberto is a whole lot better when she sings Brazilian than when she tries to sing English, which she isn't that good at. But it's still a very relaxing album. This is a Stan Getz album I didn't make heads or tails of. I bought this Another Place, Another Time. And this is a Swedish reissue. And of the looks of it, it looks like a really great one. You can't by judging from the titles see that there's anything wrong with it. 3 tracks there. Supposed to be 5 tracks on the B side, as you can see here and here. But look at the vinyl. It's actually only 2 tracks. So for some reason they really goofed it out up here by only publishing the first and the last track of this, and not including the 3 songs in the middle there. So I don't know how they managed to do that. I was very unsure with what I would do with this, but I decided that I will keep it until I find a proper copy, because the music is still very great. I think I have a little more jazzy stuff. This is Art Van Dam, an American accordion player that plays jazz on accordion. And here he has done been in Sweden and done his jazz versions of Swedish ballads, troubadour stuff, and folk music. Done the jazz versions of it, and it sounds real great, real relaxing. So this is a really great album. And we have King Oliver, Papa Joe, and perfect for my current curiosity of the 20s jazz music. This is songs from 1926 to 28. King Oliver and his Dixie Syncopators. Some exception from my normal uninterest of Dixieland music, but it is 20s jazz, so very interesting. Shalamar and Circumstantial Evidences. This is a very interesting album because none of the original Shalamar members, which included Howard Hewitt and Jody Watley, none of them are here. This is a kind of a replacement of 3 totally unknown members that have taken the name. But it is produced by L.A. Reid and Babyface. And that makes it a little bit different. Because even if this is actually a kind of a, it isn't Shalamar actually in my eyes, when it is 3 total unknown members. But it is actually a great album because L.A. Reid and Babyface have done magnificent 80s soul production with this. So definitely, it may not look like Shalamar, but it sounds really funky. So this might be one of the best soul albums I bought this year actually. And finally, Eric Clapton. Not often I buy Eric Clapton. This is Behind the Sun from 1985. Yet another one of those that the hardcore fans think this, it sounds all way too much 80s, but I like it. And it's produced by Phil Collins. And some of these songs I actually heard when I was younger in radio. Tangled with Love, for instance, really great song. And Phil Collins not only is producing, he plays drums on several tracks also. And it sounds really, really great, with exception from Knock on Wood, that I don't understand why he actually include that. It is some really great songs that he made of his own, many of them in influences of his current marriage problem that he has had back then. Then why include a cover of a 50s song? That's really strange. So, but it is a great Eric Clapton album. So, that was another vinyl and CD update. So let's see what the rest of the year, or should I say the final weeks of the year can bring. So until next time, I hope that all of you have a really nice time, no matter where you are, no matter what you do. Take care and still